Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 174. I hope everyone is having a great day, great night, wherever you are around the world. Oh my gosh, we finally made it to Super Bowl week. Sunday, it all goes down. The New England Patriots, my Patriots, versus Seattle Seahawks. I cannot wait for this game. There is so much to get into on today's show. NBA news with the trade deadline approaching tomorrow. Anthony Davis just traded to the Washington Wizards and the Dallas Mavericks. James Harden from sunny California in LA to cold Cleveland Cavaliers. What were the Cavs thinking? We'll talk about all that. Of course, the NFL coaching news with Klint Kubiak going to the Los Angeles Raiders, Mike LaFleur being hired by the Arizona Cardinals. Super Bowl preview this week. It all goes down. But before we officially get into the show, make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. I can't thank you guys enough for the support. Just hit 1,500 subs on YouTube last night, so thank you guys for that. But we got the Winter Olympics upcoming this weekend as well, opening weekend, which would be super exciting. NHL players, of course, McDavid, Crosby, Team Canada, Team USA, stoked about that. We just got an NHL trade that came in. Had the like a mini winter, like a winter classic type vibe this past Sunday in Tampa, Raymond James Stadium, and a football stadium. You had the Bruins and you had the Tampa Bay Lightning, so that was pretty cool there. But yeah, make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, the Inquisitive Mamba. And the first thing I think we'll get into is the Super Bowl, right? Guys, we had a heck of an episode last week, so I got to try to follow up with that as best as I can. We got a ton of clips out of that. Shout out to all the Patriots fan pages that we've been collaborating with. That's been awesome. I got this Patriots last time we were in the Super Bowl t-shirt on today. It's a little bleached up here. I've had it for years. I have not worn a Super Bowl t-shirt in years, just because I feel like it's always weird. But then again, like, it's your team, it's your merch, right? You got to rep it. It's history, right? It's historical. Let's make history this Sunday. All right. So of course the Seattle Seahawks are favored by -4.5 points this Sunday against the New England Patriots. And yes, the Seattle Seahawks should be 100% favored coming into this game. They've got the better roster. They've got a more complete team. I'm not going to say they're better coached, but they are expected to be here. They were expected to get here. They were the 1 seed. They were a juggernaut all this entire season. Then you had the Patriots coming in, trickling in. They were hot as well. 14-3, you could say the whole schedule narrative. I don't play those games. People can say I'm biased because I'm a fan, but Super Bowl, you get there, you're a good team, and so is the other team. But I'll try to break this game down as best as I can, going from X's and O's to key takeaway to key points, what I think is going to happen. Well, first of all, my keys to this game for the New England Patriots is you got to be able to protect Drake May. I shouldn't say put that. I'm referring to putting pressure on Sam Darnold. That's been my mind. That's been my focus this entire week. You have to be able to protect Drake May, and Drake May cannot turn the ball over. I think Drake May's shoulder is 100%. I think the media is trying to make a story and make a narrative about that. I don't think there's anything wrong with Drake May's shoulder. He wouldn't be throwing in practice if his shoulder was bad. And yes, absolutely, his shoulder probably I think it's 100%, but if it is not 100%, it's the reason because he played 17 games this season on top of three more playoff games, wildcard divisional AFC championship. And yeah, there's a lot of wear and tear on your body. Nobody's healthy at the end of the season in the Super Bowl, right? Nobody's going to be 100%. But going back to this game here, my keys, of course, be able to protect Drake May. Get the ball out fast because Seattle's got a great pass rush. Their defense is just as good as Denver's. It's just as good as Houston. Some people are saying that it's the number 1 defense in the NFL. I'm waiting to see that. Of course, they could very well surprise me. They have a great secondary. They're very well coached. Like I said, they rush the passer extremely well. So those are my keys. My keys for the Patriots is protecting Drake May. Drake May not turning the ball over. Don't make dumb decisions. You have earned your stripes to get to this Super Bowl. You have played an exceptional regular season. Yes, you were shaky these past 3 games in the postseason, but all that stuff goes out the window. It's good weather. It's a total different game. So, and the Patriots, can they run the ball effectively like they've been able to do this entire postseason? Josh McDaniels, this is his 10th Super Bowl. How is Josh McDaniels going to be able to call this game? Are we going to see plays that we saw in the previous Super Bowls? Are we going to see any trick plays? Is he going to want to put the ball in Ramondre Stevenson's hands? It's going to be very interesting. Can the Patriots offensive line hold up against that Seattle defense? I think this Patriots-Seahawks game is going to be won in the trenches. I've been thinking about this since we found out it was going to be Patriots-Seahawks. The Seattle's offensive line, the interior of the offensive line is very weak. Now, on the other side of the coin, the Patriots defensive line in the interior with Christian Barmore and Milton Williams is very strong. That has been our strong suit this entire postseason. That's why when we lost Milton Williams for those couple games we did, it was huge for us in the regular season. Now, if the Patriots can be able to put pressure on Sam Darnold, I think this game could be a lot different. I don't see this game being a shootout. I could be wrong, right? It's going to be a very tall task to guard JSN. Kenneth Walker's extremely explosive. You saw what he did to the Rams. I think the Patriots, have a better defense than the Rams, but something's got to give in this type of game. Now, my keys, if just as a non-fan perspective, right? Just giving you guys my analysis for the Seahawks. It's being able to create turnovers like they've been able to do all year. It's stopping the run against the Patriots. It's those big deep plays that they've been very successful with Shaheed, with JSN. I'm giving you guys my keys for Seattle to win this game as well. I'm going to give you guys both sides. I'm not going to sit here and be biased to the Patriots the whole time because that's not exactly what I'm going to do. That's my team, of course. However, though, Seattle continue those big plays. Of course, you saw in the first quarter against the Rams with Rashid Shaheed, the big explosive play over the top there. I think it was one-on-one coverage. And, of course, getting JSN the ball in open space. And then, of course, the Patriots limiting that. Seattle calling up. I don't think Seattle has to call a perfect game to win this. I think the Patriots have to call a perfect game to win this game. The Patriots have to play their game to win this game. And, of course, we know what their game is. Run the ball effectively. Don't turn the ball over. Drake May uses his legs. He doesn't have to be Tom Brady. He doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers. This defense is good enough to carry them to a Super Bowl win. You don't have to make all the pretty plays. It doesn't have to be Bakemas. You don't have to make the prettiest baking item. The cookies, they can just go in the oven, right? It doesn't matter. As long as you win the game, that's what matters. We're not looking at the stat sheet. And Sam Darnold's 0-4 against the Patriots in his career. Now, of course, that's that was then. This is now. Anything can happen in a one-game set. I've been telling people this all week. The Patriots have been doubted all year. You never know what can happen like this. Hey, look what happened to us against the Giants in both Super Bowls. Yes, the Patriots should have won both those Super Bowls against the Giants. The 2007 year season, which was the 2008 actual Super Bowl, and the 2011 season, but it was the 2012 Super Bowl. So, yeah, anything can happen in a game like this. You have seen crazy things. Of course, the Tyreek catch, the Manningham catch, the Edelman catch against the Falcons, the 28-3 comeback, the Jermaine Kearse catch against us in the Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl we played the Seahawks, the Malcolm Butler catch. So, you just never know in a game like this. So all the game plan stuff can completely go out the window. It's a weird game. It could be unsung Super Bowl heroes. Malcolm Smith for the Seahawks years ago in that Super Bowl against the Broncos won Super Bowl MVP. If you would have told me Malcolm Smith would have won Super Bowl MVP before the game, I would have said, you're absolutely insane. So you just never know in a game like this. But the Patriots need to play their game. They need to run the ball effectively. Don't turn the ball over. Drake May does not need to do too much. Yes, it's going to be great weather, but stick to your bread and butter that you've been successful with all year. All that stuff from the regular season goes out the window. All the stuff from the first 3 playoff games go out the window. This is a one-game set. So I don't want to hear people say this Patriots shouldn't be here. We deserve to be here. We earned our right to be in this Super Bowl with Seattle. Anything can happen. I feel like I have to put this podcast episode in quotes. Anything can happen, right? Anything is possible. No, but seriously, we deserve to be here. It's a one-game set. You never know, right? So that's some of my biggest things there. I'm super excited to watch this game. I'm just proud of this Patriots team to be in the Super Bowl. I know everyone hates us, and we've been spoiled our entire lives because of Brady and Belichick, and we'll get into the Belichick being snubbed from the Hall of Fame here in a little bit, as well as Robert Kraft came out this morning. But, it's awesome to see the Patriots back in the Super Bowl. The record that they had this year in the regular season compared to the previous 2 seasons are just nobody thought this. I was joking. I thought they could get to the Super Bowl in November. I said, I think they could. I don't think it's a crazy statement to say because they're clicking on all cylinders. They're hitting on all cylinders. They're playing very disciplined football, and what can happen. January comes around, the Patriots thrive, and they got in the dance and they proved that they were the best team in the AFC. But I'm very excited for this game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see the Gonzalez JSN matchup, how the Patriots will go with that. Is Spillane going to be 100% healthy? Seattle, is Sam Darnold going to be the guy he's been all year long, or does he wet the bed? Does he not hit the pee pads, right? Or does he pee all over the house? right? You never know. So Mike McDonald, Mike Vrabel, the two Mikes, two great coaches. These two teams deserve to be here. And I am so sick and tired of people saying that Seattle is going to win this game by 30. Seattle's going to win this game 35-7. It's like, do you realize how ridiculous that sounds? Like, that's absolutely insane. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm riding with my guys until the end. I said before the postseason, I said when the playoffs started, I said the Patriots are going to go all the way and they're going to win it. I'm not betting against my guys. And now we have one game left. It's a one game set where there's two teams left in the dance. Like Drake May has said, the last dance. And people have been asking me all week, what's your score prediction? Well, of course, the last Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Seahawks was 28-24 in the Super Bowl, which was the Malcolm Butler miraculous interception. I'm going Patriots 24-21. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they cover the spread. I think they win this game. They've been doubted all year long, and there's only one way to end this argument and close this case forever, is to win this game. Win this game. You have been the best team in the AFC all year long. You've had arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. You probably have the best coach in Mike Vrabel. Like, I want to see another coach get into this messy situation with the Patriots start of this season and lead this team to a Super Bowl. I rest my case. I'm excited for the halftime show with Bad Bunny. I know everyone has their own opinions about that. Of course, this is not a political show. I'm just excited to see Bad Bunny for his music. I like Bad Bunny as an artist, so I'm super excited. I'm not going to get into the whole politics stuff. That's not what I do. So just super excited for this Super Bowl coming up. More than happy to hear everyone's predictions. We'll be dropping these clips in the comments, but some of the keys to this game, like I said, Patriots running the ball effectively, Drake May not turning the ball over. Of course, Seattle likes to run heavy zone. You saw what they did against the Niners. You saw what they did against the Rams. So something's got to give in a game like this. I could be completely wrong. Who's the X factor? Is it Shaheed? Is it Stevenson? Is it Diggs? Is it Kenneth Walker? Who's going to be the sneaky link in this game? Who knows? We shall see, right? But yeah, we talked about Drake May's shoulder. It's a 100% go. I don't buy into any of that narrative. They were saying last week, Drake May is nursing a shoulder injury. And then, of course, he didn't practice last week. Yeah, he probably is not 100% because he's thrown so many times this season. And the Patriots offensive line has not been the best and has been the greatest. So we're not going to spend too much time on Drake May's shoulder. But the next thing I did want to talk about while I take a water break here, guys, a lot goes into this. People don't realize, they just see the clips online. Why Belichick isn't in the Hall of Fame. When this came out last week and I saw this, I was absolutely mind blown. And I probably should have recorded some clips, or probably should have gave my opinion about this last week and not be talking about it in the podcast, because it feels like it's late news, right? Like Keyshawn Johnson, he was a clip he posted last week. I forget who he said it was, but somebody said to him, there's always going to be news in sports. It's a 24-hour news cycle. Like, I'm not nervous when the season's over because we continue to get news. But sticking here on the Belichick stuff, if you were to tell me Bill Belichick was not going to make the Hall of Fame, and I know, of course, the Spygate and the Deflategate, but that's what we're diminishing Bill Belichick's legacy off of. Of course, Bill Belichick's going to get in, but if Bill Belichick doesn't get in right away, then no other coach should get in ever. There shouldn't be a coach that gets in over Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame. Okay, he's a product of Brady. Do you realize that Bill Belichick won 2 Super Bowls before Tom Brady when he was the New York Giants defensive coordinator? Do you realize who helped Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson? Do you realize that those defenses for the Patriots all those years was because of Bill Belichick? Do you realize why Brian Flores and Matt Patricia and all these other defensive coordinators that the Patriots have had are a product of Bill Belichick? Like, do you realize how idiotic that sounds? Like, even LeBron and Patrick Mahomes and other athletes were like, this is blasphemy. Like, maybe some things in life, it doesn't always go the way that you want it to go. But 100% Bill Belichick should be disappointed. Like, it blows my mind that he didn't get in the Hall of Fame right away. It's Spygate, Deflategate. Like, really? Like, other coaches have been involved with Spygate as well. Even Jimmy Johnson was saying, like, we were doing it back then. Like, this isn't anything new. And he served his punishment. It's like the NFL does not like the New England Patriots. Even Roger Goodell even specifically said, it's crazy that Belichick didn't get in. There is people in life that are going to be spiteful of other people. And it went to show you that was the case in this Bill Belichick not getting snubbed from the Hall of Fame right away by these writers. Who are these writers? They decide that Belichick doesn't get in the Hall of Fame right away? Like, it just blows my mind. They spent nearly 46 minutes debating. There's no debate. Like, There is no debate at all. So if you don't want to put in Bill Belichick right away, then Tom Brady doesn't deserve to get in right away, right? Because he was a product of Bill Belichick, and he was also part of Deflategate and Spygate, right? So we're gonna punish Bill Belichick for things that happened back then. You don't want to put him in the Hall of Fame right away. It blows my mind. You can sit here and say, make your debate. Belichick was only good because of Brady, and of course his record after Brady. It's like, do you remember the Super Bowl where it was 13-3 by the New England Patriots and the Rams put up 3 points? Did Tom Brady stop the Los Angeles Rams defense? Did Tom Brady draft all those good defensive players? In the early Super Bowls, do I remember when I was a kid, I went back and watched, and I've done as much research as I've been able to do, that Bill Belichick is the reason why those defenses are the way they were. Even Ty Law is former player, who everyone knows in New England Patriot Nation, and in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, all the New England states, Ty Law is absolutely right. William McGinnis thought it was blasphemy. Like, if you don't like somebody, just come out and say it. Don't hide behind a curtain, these writers. Like, just be honest. Like, we deserve to know why he didn't get in right away. He's going to get in, but it's not the same, right? It'll be great when he gets in. He deserves 100% to get in the Hall of Fame. But of course, the seasons were rough in the end, but that's just blasphemy. I mean, they went 11-5 with Matt Castle one season without Brady. Like, yes, Tom Brady was a huge part of the Patriots' success, but I'll tell you this right now: our defenses all those years ago were absolutely insane. Kind of reminds me of the defense that is similar to now. His argument here is he's 83 and 104 without Brady was used against him. So he had a 4.449 winning percentage, but he won 2 Super Bowls before that. So that's what you're going off of in the end. Like, I don't know. It blows my mind. Of course, Robert Kraft didn't get in either. It doesn't make any sense, really. Does coaching at North Carolina make him active? Some use his new college gig as a loophole to say he isn't truly retired yet. That doesn't have anything to do with it. These writers don't like Bill Belichick because of how successful he was and how good the Patriots were all those years. It's like there is people that are spiteful in this world, and it just goes to show you that that's the case. 8 Super Bowls? Like that, like you, what? Like 8 Super Bowls, and he doesn't get in the Hall of Fame right away. Patrick Mahomes called it insane. Tom Brady called it ridiculous. The bottom line, if the Hall of Fame isn't for the man with the most rings and the most postseason wins, then what is it actually for? Oh yeah, that's right. He has the most postseason wins of all time too. Let's add that to the record. If I could sit here all day, I would be able to. I'd probably sit here all day and look at a scroll of how many accomplishments Bill Belichick has had, all of his accolades. Okay, moving on to the next topic. Does Tom Brady want the Patriots to lose? Well, Tom Brady has been asked who he's been rooting for this entire week, up as last week. He was on Jimmy Kimmel's show, or excuse me, Jimmy Fallon's show. Is it Kimmel or Fallon? Jimmy Kimmel is the LA one. Fallon is the New York one. It was Fallon. Kendall Jenner was on there, and she FaceTimed Tom Brady and saying, who do you think, who is going to win? She picked the Patriots. Tom Brady doesn't owe the Patriots anything. He has a statue outside of New England. He got his jersey retired by the Patriots. He spent 20 seasons with New England, the greatest childhood I ever had as a sports fan. But he doesn't owe the Patriots anything. He is a owner. He's a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. He's a broadcaster, and it is a very bad look if Tom Brady comes out and basically acts like a social media content creator or just a fan that he's rooting for the Patriots. I can guarantee you Tom Brady's rooting for the Patriots behind the scenes, but he doesn't owe us anything. He gave us 20 amazing years. He doesn't have to sit here and say, I'm rooting for the Patriots. Like, people were upset about that. It's like, no, Tom Brady didn't pick the Patriots to make it instead leaning into the new guard of the NFL. He did earlier on. He knows this just as much as we do. Playing in it is totally different. I can do my very best to predict that the Patriots are going to go to the Super Bowl. They may not get there. I can say Chiefs were going to be in the Super Bowl this year, and that's what I thought was going to happen. That didn't happen. I could have said the Eagles were going to get there again, but that didn't happen. So the fan reaction discussed how a segment of the New England fan base feels betrayed. Why are Patriots fans betrayed? Why would we feel betrayed? Tom Brady doesn't owe us anything. That he owes us zero. That he isn't a permanent cheerleader for the organization, leading to the viral question: does he want them to fail to protect his own legacy? I don't think Tom Brady, I know Brady has 7, and if we win the Super Bowl on Sunday, we have 7, just like Brady. I don't think Brady cares about anything like that. He won 6 Super Bowls with us. There's no product of the system or anything like that. Belichick's gone. This is a whole new legacy. This is a whole new era. This is like Patriots 2.0. Like, this Super Bowl was so long ago, it feels like, which it was. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, we can hold the fan argument of the rings. I can say, oh, we have 6 rings and you guys have, your team has 1, or you guys have never made a Super Bowl. Yeah, that's just trash talk. But this Sunday matters more than anything. The defense, Brady's core argument is that he is paid to be an analyst, not a mascot. Yeah, he is. He's a paid analyst. Exactly. He's not, like, they're technically not allowed to show being biased. Like Joe Buck, he went to Indiana, and he wasn't allowed to be on the broadcast and say go Hoosiers. Like, they can do it off air. Like, of course people are going to try to put Brady in that conversation there of trying to make him look bad. Brady pointed out if he sugarcoats the Patriots struggles, he loses credibility with the rest of the league. He isn't rooting for a loss. He's acknowledging a reality. Listen, like I said, he owes us nothing. The legacy factor, the Jordan mentality. Is there a part of Brady that enjoys the Patriots struggle without him? I don't think so. I don't think Brady doesn't strike me like that. I could sit here and say that, yes, he is, but I don't see that. I think he is really happy for Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. He was praising Drake May's throws earlier this year. So the question for the listeners, do we want Homer Brady or expert Brady? Well, listen, I am fine with either way. I know what Brady did for the Patriots all those years. So if he wants to take the route of analyst expert Brady, that's his job. He's more than welcome to. Next thing I want to talk about briefly is we have some coaching stuff, of course, in the NFL. You had Todd Monken hired by the Browns as their new head coach. Well, obviously Todd Monken was there in 2019 under Freddie Kitchens when Freddie Kitchens was the head coach. And I was talking about this last week on the podcast. I said, not Todd Monken, I was saying the Browns are an absolute mess. Who the heck would want to go coach the Browns? Maybe Jim Schwartz gets promoted to head coach, and then you find out that Todd Monken is now the head coach. It's like, well, of course he was with Lamar in Baltimore and he stays in the NFC North. And now he came out yesterday and he basically said that Shedeur Sanders is not a guarantee to be the quarterback 1. And that's exactly what I was saying. I know there was a video clip of them in the hallway and he goes, we tried to draft your ass or whatever, and now here we are working together. Shedeur Sanders hasn't earned anything. So what do I think of the Todd Monken hire? I don't think it does anything for the Browns. This doesn't surprise me. It's the Browns. Until they change things in the front office, I think until the Browns actually get a number 1 quarterback and they actually get away from the Deshaun Watson drama saga reality TV show with him sitting on the sideline making all this money, nothing is going to change. Absolutely zero is going to change. So it'll be very interesting to see what Todd Monken can do with this Browns offense. I know I said last week that they don't really have anything. They have some offensive pieces, like Harold Fannin was a solid rookie out of Bowling Green this past year. Quinshon Judkins, of course, out of Ohio State. He got hurt. I don't see it with Shedeur yet. Maybe he proves me wrong, but I don't see it yet. I still think it was actually laughable that he made the Pro Bowl. But the Pro Bowl means absolutely zero these days. The only things that matter are getting playoff wins, consistent football, and all pros more than anything. But one of the quotes from Monken, when I was preparing for the Browns, I wasn't trying to chip Jim Schwartz. I was chipping Myles Garrett. The most shocking takeaway from the presser was his refusal to name a starting quarterback for 2026. Yes, I think him and Andrew Berry have probably sat down and will continue to discuss this and say, we can't name a starting quarterback yet. It's way too premature. It's way too early for that, especially with the draft coming up and free agency. But I mean, of course, they're tied to Deshaun Watson, and I don't think anything is going to change until, like I said, they get a quarterback 1 and they get Deshaun Watson, until they get rid of Deshaun Watson. So Todd Monken didn't come here to make friends with the coaches. He came here to win with the players. Listen, I think Monken is a good coordinator. I don't think he's fit to be a head coach. Obviously, I think Stefanski did a pretty darn good job there more than anything, but let's see if he can convince Jim Schwartz to stay or if he benches, Shedeur Sanders. It remains to be seen. I think he has the keys, and I think Andrew Berry supports any decision that Todd Monken makes. But if you were to ask me to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a 75 grade. Now, of course, nobody wanted to go to Cleveland. The Udinski from the Jaguars, the Jaguars offensive coordinator, didn't want to go there. LaFleur didn't want to go there. Mike McDaniel didn't want to go there. So the writing was on the wall. Monken was probably their 10th option, but that's what they had to go with. Moving on, we'll talk about Joe Brady being promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach. Well, he's 36 years old. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, this makes total sense, because the Bills aren't going to go out and get an outside guy. They weren't going to hire Phillip Rivers because Rivers didn't probably want to be a part of that mess. And I thought to myself, when they did fire Sean McDermott, I thought it was going to be Joe Brady. I know some people thought it was going to be Davis Webb. The Bills were linked to that, and then they McDaniel backed out of the interview, and then there was another. I'm pretty sure there was somebody else that they interviewed, but Joe Brady was the guy the entire time. Oh, sorry, Brian Daboll was potentially an option because he was with Josh Allen. The Joe Brady being promoted to head coach, it makes total sense. It really does. Of course, he's been there for a couple seasons. Josh Allen has had basically his greatest success. He won an MVP not this season we just had, the season before that. So yeah, it makes total sense for the Buffalo Bills to promote Joe Brady. I think he's very young, but if they think that Josh Allen works best with him and Josh Allen's basically your baby, that's your best decision right there. So it's really interesting to see that they did promote within. I didn't think that they were going to go on the outside, but I mean, Joe Brady's numbers, of course, as an offensive coordinator were really good. You know, stats under him, they were first in rushing yards, time possession first, points per game, they were fourth. So Joe Brady knows exactly what he's doing with this Bills offense. It will be interesting. It remains to be seen if the Buffalo Bills can go out and get themselves a number one wide receiver, a playmaker. Obviously, a couple years ago, the Stephon Diggs situation there, and then they moved off of that. And doesn't look like Keon Coleman has really panned out yet. So, but in 2024, Josh Allen had six under Brady. Allen's interceptions dropped significantly. He had 6 interceptions in 2024. Yeah, of course, he won the MVP in 2024 under his full season as offensive coordinator. So he's an offensive-minded guy. The Bills have been they were coming off of Sean McDermott, who's a defensive-minded guy. I like Joe Brady. I just sometimes let's see if he's ready, right? Because that's a big step, hiring him, promoting him as head coach more than anything. But Allen led the NFL in total touchdowns, has led the NFL in total touchdowns with 79 since Brady took the reins. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of it right there for that. But we'll talk about this here too as well. We're sticking on the coaching hires, and Mike LaFleur to the Arizona Cardinals. Well, of course, this is Matt LaFleur's brother, and they go in a total different direction. They go offensive-minded. They were 3-14 this season. They think Mike LaFleur is the answer. He can come in and he can revitalize this offense because they do have some pieces. But I think the Arizona Cardinals need to move off of Kyler Murray. Like honestly, like the amount of he's got 2 years left on a $230 million deal. His future is a total coin flip. Mike LaFleur could come in here and say, we're not committed to Kyler Murray. We don't owe him anything. Kyler Murray is injury prone. I think another team could use him. I mean, he missed the final 12 games of 2025. So, of course, Mike LaFleur came from the Los Angeles Rams and staying in the division. I think it's very bold going up against your rival and the Los Angeles Rams. Now you go to the Cardinals in the NFC West. I mean, that division right there, man, with the Niners, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals is very interesting to point out because – I mean, all decisions, quarterback, O-line, everything are on the table for the Cardinals. Like, I think the Cardinals should just go completely rebuild and just blow it all up because I don't think the Kyler Murray situation has worked out. I don't think they should have paid him when they had the opportunity. But he missed the final 12 games of the season. Another one there. Can't stay healthy. And, of course, they had to go with Jacoby Brissett as the backup. And many insiders believe Murray was benched basically for Kyler or for Jacoby Brissett. And I could totally see that. It would not shock me. It didn't shock me when that news did come out, but it'll be very interesting to see. It really will be. I mean, of course you have the Jets, the Steelers, the Vikings, they're linked to a Kyler Murray trade. I don't know. The Jets might have just lost out on Mendoza. Dante Moore didn't declare. The Jets could do that, but you just had Justin Fields. I don't know. The Steelers maybe because they don't know if there's no decision on Rodgers yet. The Vikings, I don't know if they're committed to JJ McCarthy. Like a lot of things are going to be spicing up in this offseason after the Super Bowl Sunday. Like a lot of things are going to be changing. It's just like that in every offseason. So unlike his time with McVay, of course, with the Rams, LaFleur is going to call the plays in Arizona. So I'm excited. I love when new coaches get a fair opportunity, when they get a new shot. I like the direction that the Cardinals are going in. I love young offensive-minded guys. I do like the promotion, like I said, with Joe Brady for the Buffalo Bills. I like young offensive-minded guys. I really do. I'm not a fan of the old coaches, of course, like the Pete Carroll hire. Mike Vrabel's an exception because he was with the Patriots all those years, and he is a leader of men. There's very few guys that are like Mike Vrabel. Like D'Amico Ryans is like that. Mike McDonald's a defensive guy. He's up there as well. But a lot of the NFL, all these guys are offensive minded guys. It's the nature of the NFL. I mean, that's That's it. So next one here was Klint Kubiak hired by the Las Vegas Raiders to be their head coach. Well, of course, Klint Kubiak has a game to coach this Sunday in the Super Bowl against the Patriots and he's Seahawks, and he said it's not a distraction. But I'd be very interested to see. I like Klint Kubiak. He's done a great job with Sam Darnold. He's done a great job in Seattle. It'll be very interesting to see what the Raiders are doing. I think the coaching hire makes sense, right? Because I was saying, like, Pete Carroll never made sense from the beginning, from the get-go. Why are you hiring a 73-year-old coach like that? There's no direction for this team. He's not going to be able to turn around this team in a very short time. The Raiders' offensive line is an absolute mess. I don't know what's going on with the front office. I know Tom Brady's a minority owner there. And then, of course, so the GM, it's very weird in the Raiders. I mean, I think it's very obvious. It's very clear. They're most likely, they're going to be drafting Fernando Mendoza. It'll be interesting to see how Klint Kubiak will do with Mendoza more than anything, because look what he did with Sam Darnold this past year. But I think the Raiders have a lot more problems than just the quarterback position. Geno Smith is terrible, but their offensive line is really, really bad. Their defense is okay. Max Crosby doesn't look like he really wants to be there. So good for Klint Kubiak for taking this job, though. Like, more than anything, like, good for him. It'll be interesting to see how he will do, what the Raiders will be going to do going forward, just because, like, you sit there and you're like, what are the Raiders doing? Like, you're going to draft Mendoza. You have your new head coach in Kubiak. The front office is a mess, like I said. And it'll just be interesting because the AFC West is not getting any easier. So Kubiak is basically being brought in to be the quarterback whisperer. Klint Kubiak, what you just did over in Seattle, can you replicate that here in Las Vegas? Maybe not as much success right away, but what you did with Darnold, can you do similar with Mendoza? And if he can, the Raiders can turn around. Like, you never know what can happen in one season. Could turn around like that, like just like the Patriots turned around, just like other teams have had success early on. Like, you just never know, right? So I'm excited to see Kubiak. Of course, he's going to be working with Mendoza. It'll be exciting to see. Of course, Klint is the son of Gary Kubiak. He becomes the 10th father-son duo to both serve as NFL. They become the 10th father-son duo to both serve as NFL head coaches. Yeah, that's pretty cool. He's only 38 years old. He's entering the AFC West as the old boys club because he's Andy Reid 67, Peyton 62, Harbaugh 62. So he's the young, innovative mind in this division. Let's see if he gets eaten alive or not. Maybe he's better as a coordinator. Who knows? But you got to give him a shot because you saw what he did with Sam Darnold this entire season, and there's one game left. Well, briefly, we'll talk about Raheem Morris joining the Niners as their DC. It almost seems like this is like the spot for like fired coaches to get their like revitalization or get their like chance again, because obviously Atlanta Falcons with Raheem Morris, and then Saleh with the Jets, and now Saleh takes the Titans job. So he becomes the 5th defensive coordinator in 5 years for Shanahan, D'Amico Ryans, Steve Wilks, Sorensen, Robert Saleh, and now Morris. So I like it. I love Kyle Shanahan. Of course, Shanahan and Raheem Morris were in Tampa together all those years ago. It's a great documentary on Amazon to watch, by the way, the Bucks 10-part documentary. And then, of course, they were in Washington together, and then Atlanta earlier on, and 10, 11 years ago. So, fun fact, they famously first bonded after being arrested together at the 05 NFL Combine. Shanahan has tried to hire Morris since his first day in San Fran, but was originally blocked by the Falcons. So I like this hire for the Niners. I want to see how healthy the Niners defense can get this offseason, because their defense has not been able to stay healthy this entire year. Warner, Bosa, it'll be very interesting to see how the Niners do next year, and see if they can like stay healthy, because healthy, they're a top 5 team in the NFL. So the next segment we'll briefly talk about, of course, is Matt Nagy being hired by the Giants as their OC. And a lot of Giants fans, and my friend Billy, was kind of confused by this. And I didn't think this was going to happen. I was like, Nagy, Well, of course, then Bieniemy took the job over there, took the job back in KC, won 2 Super Bowls there. And then Nagy was supposed to be going to be a head coach. And then the Titans weren't interested in him. And then, of course, the Titans hired Saleh, and it was supposed to be Todd Monken for the Giants, but then of course Monken took the Browns job. Nagy just took the job. Was it yesterday? I think it was. I don't know I don't know how to feel about this, really. I'm not saying Nagy's a bad coordinator. I think there are better options out there more than anything. But it's really all about Jackson Dart, right? Like, the X's and O's, those are great, but it's really about how they can maximize Jackson Dart, because You saw flashes with Jackson Dart this year, and I know earlier or last year on the podcast, it was weird to say last year, I said the Giants should go in all in on Mendoza. Obviously, I'm not backing down from that, but Jackson Dart's the guy for the Giants. It'll be very interesting to see. They were 4-13 this year. They did show flashes. They beat the Eagles. They should have beat the Broncos earlier in the year. If the Giants would have won that game, we probably would have had home field. Doesn't matter. However, though, but he had, threw 15 touchdowns, had 9 rushing touchdowns. So the Mahomes blueprint, of course, the blueprint, excuse me. Nagy spent 3 years with the Chiefs. You saw what he did with the Chiefs, and now you can see if he can take any of that and move this over to the Giants. The Giants are going in a total different direction. So addressing the fan outrage, you can't say this. You can't do the segment without mentioning the skeptics. Nagy is a polarizing figure due to his tenure as the Bears head coach, but he's not the head coach. He's going to be calling the plays. But I think John Harbaugh has faith in Nagy, or he wouldn't have hired him. Critics point to his 34-31 record, and his offensive play calling in Chicago was a red flag. Yeah, but Jackson Dart, I think, is talented enough to overcome Nagy's stupidity more than anything. The play calling question: in KC, Andy Reid called the plays. In New York, Nagy will have full play calling duties. That's right as well. But he worked with Mahomes in KC, and I think taking that talent from KC and bringing this over to New York, obviously comparing Mahomes to Dart is crazy, but the level and the blueprint that he can take from his time in KC to now his time in New York. So that's really it for the NFL. We're going to move on to the NBA. Oh my gosh. Now we're talking about the NBA. Yeah. With the NFL season coming to an end. Well, you had the Anthony Davis trade this morning, earlier today. He was traded to DC. And at first I was like, man, I kind of feel bad for Anthony Davis. I was at the gym, and then I thought to myself, nah, I don't feel bad because these guys make so much money. But like, that's what you turned into, like those trade pieces from the Luka Doncic trade last year. I don't feel bad for Cooper Flag. I don't feel bad for Cooper Flag. I just think it's weird. Like, what are the Mavs doing? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. AD played a total of 29 games for the Dallas Mavericks, and now he's on his Lakers, Dallas Mavericks, New Orleans Pelicans, Washington Wizards. He's on his 4th team. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. I don't know what the Wizards are doing either. Like, some of these trades in the NBA like make zero sense. Like, I still don't. I mean, maybe the Harden Garland one makes a little more sense. We'll talk about that as well. But like, the blockbuster breakdown to Washington was AD, Jaden Hardy, Russell, and Dante Exum. AJ Johnson to Dallas, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley III, plus a call of draft capital, 2 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders. Like, are the Wizards, like, are they trying to build like a championship roster? Like, I'm so confused. The Wizards before this season, they had nobody, and now they have Trae Young and they have Anthony Davis. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm just really concerned by the Mavs because, like, for the Mavericks, for example, right? Like, you sit here and you go, well, what could have been? Like, if Kyrie didn't tear his ACL, if Anthony Davis can stay healthy, when you signed Klay Thompson, what was it, 2 off seasons ago? So it's like the Mavs, and then of course they got Cooper Flag, right? Or you would have kept Anthony Davis and you still have, Cooper Flag, and Kyrie comes back next year and you run it back with that team, and you're like, with the bigs they have and the roster they have, that's a championship caliber team. But of course, now the Dallas offloaded roughly $70 million in payroll for next season. They're officially hitting the reset button on the post-Luka era. Really, really interesting trade to me. I saw earlier this morning that AD was potentially linked to the Raptors, but nothing was imminent. And then you have, AD joining Trae Young in Washington. But good for Washington. They've sucked for years outside of Bradley Beal and John Wall. They haven't done anything in years, but the Wizards are buying low on injured superstars, betting that a healthy AD and Trae Young can make them a contender in 27. This is a massive, 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 massive gamble for the Washington Wizards, who have not done anything in years. Like, the East is wide open. I totally get that. But like, you're banking on Anthony Davis, who can't stay healthy, and a ball dominant superstar in Trae Young, who's one of the worst defenders in the NBA. And that's what you're banking on to go to as a championship caliber team, and you're hoping to get more free agents this upcoming offseason, and you'll probably have another high draft pick as well, because the Wizards have been an absolute dumpster fire. But hey, with the Mavs, now the keys are completely in the hands of Cooper Flag, which I mean, they were beforehand, but now more than anything, it's like AD's gone. I don't know what they're doing with Klay Thompson. I think he's just collecting a check at this point more than anything. Kyrie's going to come back next year. Just the Mavs moves over the past year, of course, moving on from Luka Doncic was crazy. Like no Nico Harrison, of course, he's been long gone now, but he made the trade last year with the Luka AD trade. And then that's what you get in return. Like Luka on the Lakers now, he's been there for a year, which is crazy to think about. And Anthony Davis, like this is it here. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like the NBA trades are so weird. It's like, I don't know. I think some of these teams just go into like panic mode more than anything. But the good one here I wanted to talk about is James Harden being traded from the Los Angeles Clippers to the Cavs. When I first saw the trade, I was like, huh? And then I texted some of my friends. I was like, huh? So like, I'm just more confused. I understand D'Anthony Garland. Darius Garland cannot stay healthy. He's only played 26 games this year, and he's on a big contract, and James Harden is 10 years older, and you think that pairing Donovan Mitchell with James Harden is going to bring you to a championship, and maybe the Cavs in their mind think that they can lure LeBron James this offseason because he's a free agent after this season. I don't know what the Cavs are thinking. I think this is a desperation panic type mode. It's very, very desperate in quotations, and good for the Clippers. Like, James Harden did not want to be there. Like, aside from the Cavs, Clippers trade, I am so sick and tired of James Harden getting bailed out by teams. Like when the Clippers traded for him, when he got traded there, I was like, oh, this is James Harden's last team. Like he wants to be in LA. And then I thought to myself, no, some other team is going to be stupid enough to take James Harden on. Like, why? What in what world would you want James Harden, who's 36 years old? And yes, he's averaging the most points he's averaged since 2019, but it's not even about that. It's like he's 36 years old. Like, you honestly think James Harden is going to lead you to the promised land with Donovan Mitchell? James Harden, the ball dominant superstar that he is. Oh, he may take a backseat because he knows Mitchell's the guy. And he came out yesterday and he goes, I didn't want any of this to happen. Like, I know sometimes it doesn't work out in business the way you wanted to. I wasn't the one demanding a trade. Yes, James Harden was. Like, it's just laughable. It's like, it's never, ever James Harden's fault. It's always the other team's fault. Daryl Morey with the Rockets, then the Sixers stuff, then the Nets stuff. It's like this guy, like it's like it's repeated, like it continues to happen. And these NBA teams are dumb enough to take on James Harden. It's like, if I was the Cavs, I'd be like, no, I don't want a 36-year-old James Harden. Maybe the year after his Rockets time, or in 2019 or 2020. It's like, or like when he wanted out of Houston. Like, yeah, but this James Harden now, like the Cavs probably sit there and go, well, we're doing a good thing because Harden's 36 and we're moving off of Darius Garland, who can't stay healthy, and we've seen the product out there. But hey, man, good for the Clippers. Darius Garland gets an absolute fresh start. Happy for him. But hey, maybe the Cavs think that's what's going to get them to the promised land. I don't think that's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see, of course, with Mobley. He's not really been able to stay healthy as well. And then you moved him, of course, his talent. The Mitchell Garland parallel had a ceiling due to their size and defensive limitations. Yes, Darius Garland is very, very limited on defense. Very, very similar to Trae Young. But I would rather have him than James Harden more than anything. James Harden's 36 years old. Now, if we had this conversation a couple seasons ago when James Harden was like 31, 32, I'd be like, yeah, absolutely. But James Harden isn't getting you to the promised land. He's not winning you a championship. That does not move the needle. That doesn't move me more than anything. So I'll move on to the Celtics one here with the wrap up with these NBA trades. And then I got a last little fun segment for you guys. The Celtics swapped Simons for Vucevic. Now you guys know I am a Celtics fan. I got my Celtics jacket behind me. Got my Celtics t-shirt. I'm all in on Boston teams. That's I might have just spoiled it for the end of the show. Anyways, though, no. But at first when I saw this, I texted my friend PJ. I said, do you like the trade that they made for Vucevic for Simons? They traded Simons for Vucevic, excuse me. And he said, yeah, we needed a big. And you know what I thought to myself? When the Boston Celtics made this move, I thought to myself, I go, oh, they think Jason Tatum is 100% coming back. If they're making a move like this, or they think the East is wide open. So there's one of two options. There's two options here. Jason Tatum is 100% coming back. You saw him deadlifting a couple days ago. He's been doing workouts. He's been training, of course, which is crazy to think about because he tore his Achilles last May. It hasn't even been a full year yet. And then the second thing is they think, okay, the East is wide open. The Pistons aren't going to beat us in a 7-game series. Jaylen Brown is playing like an MVP. He's averaging 30 points a game. We've been missing a big all year. Kate has been great. But we really don't have a big, of course. Obviously, Al Horford, they moved on from Al Horford this past offseason. We have too many guards as it is. We are lacking a big man. And by moving Simons, they saved $27 million for Vucevic's $21 million. The Celtics slashed their luxury tax bill from $39 down to $17 million. Yes, of course, last year they had to get involved with the whole second apron and the luxury tax. But I think this is a good move for the Boston Celtics. As a Celtics fan now, I'm very excited. I love it. I think the Celtics can compete in the East more than anything. And Simons was starting to show flashes late. I think he started to really understand the Celtics and how that they play and how it's very team game. He had a great game against the Bucks this past Sunday, and then he got traded. But sometimes you've got to make moves like that. The Bulls were willing to give up their big man in Nikola Vucevic, and he's a veteran. Yeah, I think he's averaging like 15. Yeah, he's averaging 16.9 points per game and 9 rebounds. So this is the big that they've been missing this entire season. And Boston has been playing at elite level. They're 32-18. They just beat the Mavs last night, and it remains to be seen if if Jason Tatum is going to come back. Keita and Garza, they lack the veteran like leadership, and they lack the veteran depth more than anything. Like Keita's been great for the Celtics this entire season. However, though, you need a big going into the playoffs with a guy like Vucevic, veteran presence, been there before, gritty, and that's exactly what they were missing. So I like this trade for the Celtics more than anything. He's shooting 37.6 from deep this year. He steps into the Horford Porzingis type role as well. He can play the pick and pop game. And you lose Simons, of course, off the bench, but you have Pritchard off the bench. But you gain that rebounding, and you gain that big man that you've been missing this entire season. Of course, then the Bulls did a trade. It was part of the overhaul where Bulls acquired Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley. There was another trade earlier. Then, of course, earlier yesterday, you had Jaren Jackson traded to the Jazz. I mean, like the whole Ja Morant thing there, it's like in question. The Heat might get Ja Morant. Which I thought that they were going to get him earlier this season. I said if the Mavericks, if the Grizzlies trade Ja Morant, he's probably going to be going to the Heat, because they're like, all right, kid, we got to send you off to boarding school. Like, you've been bad enough as it is. But the Grizzlies are tearing it all down. They got rid of Jaren Jackson. I love Jaren Jackson. I think he's he's a very, very good. He's a very good. I think he's an elite big man. So I mean that lineup for the Jazz is interesting, because you got Jaren Jackson, you got Laurie, you got Kessler. They still have a lot of guards in that roster. They traded my Gator guy there, Walter Clayton, of course. I mean, so is Ja Morant next? So it remains to be seen there as well. It's more fun to talk about this when this actually happens, because your guess is as good as mine. But the Jazz, going in on Jaren Jackson, it seems like they are in a win now mode. They gave up 3 firsts for Jaren Jackson. Like that, I think they think, hey, maybe we can compete in the West. Hey, maybe this offseason we go get another piece. Like maybe we're back in contention. Like this is a move that I do like on the Jazz's part. For 8 years, the core, it's been, wow, that's crazy. The core for 8 years was Ja, JJJ, and Desmond Bane was supposed to be it. I remember that. They were trash talking the Lakers. When I was a Lakers fan, I remember when the Lakers beat them in the first round. But now, of course, Desmond Bane is in Orlando, and the Grizzlies hold 12 first round picks over the next year, upcoming years. Memphis is officially the new OKC. They're going to be bad for a while, but they're going to own the draft for the rest of the decade. Absolutely. Of course, the Bulls, Pistons, and Wolves made a 3-team deal. We talked about that. And then, of course, this upcoming weekend, we have the Olympics, so I'm super excited for that. Of course, there you got really the Winter Olympics that excite me the most is hockey. Like, I played hockey my whole life, so I am like all in on the Winter Olympics. USA versus Canada. Of course, we had the 4 nations last year. Can the USA get its revenge against Canada? Super excited for that. But, guys, the last segment of the show, the purgatory officially ends. I am no longer a Yankees fan. I am no longer a Washington Capitals fan. I am all in on the Boston sports teams. As you can see here, I'm a Patriots, got my Patriots gear on. I've been a Patriots fan my entire life. But I decided that the days of me liking the teams that I should have never liked from the beginning are officially over. I am 100% proud to announce that I am officially a Boston sports fan. All Boston teams: Bruins, Celtics, Pats, Red Sox. It pains me to say I had to drop the Yankees. At first, I was really, really contemplating this. I'm like, well, if I picked up the Celtics and I like the Patriots, I've never really hated the Bruins. They've always been like my second team. If I was to root for a team, like I'll root for the Bruins. I've loved Ovechkin for the Capitals all these years. I'm never going to hate the Capitals. My dad lives in the DC area. However, though, the Red Sox pill was really the Yankees pill was hard to swallow. Taking on the Red Sox was really hard. It's so weird because I used to go to Red Sox spring training games, and my family lives in New England and Massachusetts and Rhode Island. You're a Patriots fan, and there are some Red Sox fans there, of course, but then you have the Italian heritage with the New York Yankees in Rhode Island. But yes, from here on out, I'm all Boston. I unfollowed the Yankees on social media. I unfollowed the Capitals, and I'm all in on Bruins, Pats, Sox, Celtics. From here on out, I got my Celtics and Pats gear already. I've had a Red Sox hat for a while. Rest in peace, my grandfather. He was a Boston Red Sox fan. I remember years ago, I liked the Yankees because I loved Derek Jeter. When I was younger, I didn't really know what I really liked. I grew to like the team because of the player. But now more than anything, and of course Tom Brady was Tom Brady with the Patriots, and I love the Patriots for who they are. I loved the Patriots. I rooted for the Patriots when Cam Newton was there. Mac Jones, I love the Mac Jones era. We talked about this on the podcast last week. I never really had any history with the Red Sox. And it's weird because I rooted against the Red Sox. People are probably going to clown me for this, but people have said to me, your team's never made sense in the beginning. I explained this to you. If you want to hear it again, you can call me on the phone. You can leave a comment. You can call into the show if you'd like and ask me my sports teams and why I like them. My friend said, are you going to hop ship on the Boston teams when they get bad? No, I'm all in on the Boston teams. I'm all in on the Pats, which I have been my entire life. The Celtics, I'm all in. The Lakers are history for me. I've completely removed them out of my mind. I don't care what the Lakers do anymore. I'm all in on the Celtics. Very excited for the Red Sox this season. I'm all in on Roman Anthony and the Red Sox there. I appreciate all the years that I had fun with Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees. In hockey, I'm a big hockey fan, so the Bruins thing's a little different because I've never hated the Bruins, but really the swap for the Yankees for the Red Sox, it had to be done. I am not from New York. I have no ties. My uncle is a New York sports fan, which is crazy because he's from Rhode Island, but that's the teams that he likes because my Nana, Yankees and Giants. And then of course the other New York teams. But yeah, listen, guys, it was Patriots, Yankees. It was never meant to be. Should have always been Patriots, Red Sox. And now I'm embracing it. I take full ownership. I take the L, and I am no longer a Yankees fan. The merch will stay in the closet, but I feel better about this now more than anything. I'm very excited. So Patriots, Sox, Celtics, Bruins. Those are my 4 teams. And those are from my roots. I'm embracing it. So I think the ending here, I think I had this little thing here. I said, to my family back in Rhode Island, I'm back. To the rest of the sports world, I've stopped pretending. I'm all in on the Boston Sports Hub. And episode 174 is the first day of the rest of my life as a Boston fan. You can clown me all you want, but I feel like I would be respected more that I took on all the New England teams, the Boston teams, than just liking the Patriots, the Celtics, and then liking the Yankees. I thought to myself, whoa. I can't like the Patriots, Celtics, and Yankees. The Bruins are the Bruins, but you can't do that. So I said, all right, Patriots, Celtics it is. But then I said, I still can't like the Yankees. I just can't do it. As much as the greatest memories the Yankees have given me, they made the World Series, not we. They made the World Series 2 years ago. Not this past one, the season before. And it's just crazy because the Red Sox, it's still mind blowing. People may never get over it, but those are my teams and I embrace it fully. I am all in on the Red Sox, Celtics, Pats, and Bruins. I unfollowed all Lakers, Yankees, Capitals. I only follow the Bruins, Pats, Celtics, and Sox. But on that note, guys, that does it for us. I am so thankful that I get to record another amazing episode for you guys. Got my Pat's gear on, as always, baby. We all we got, we all we need. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Episode 174 is in the books. Please, Patriots, win this weekend. This is for it all. This is for the marbles. We've been counted all year long. This is the last dance. Like Drake May has said in his Instagram caption, this is it, baby. We all we got, we all we need. On that note, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully I'm not sad. Hopefully I'm gloating, right? Because if the Patriots win, I'm going the parade. Let's go.